Attention, attention, attention. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Awesome Nobody from the Awesome Nobody podcast. And I'm here to let you guys know that you need to be on Anchor. Like right away. Anchor is one of the best platforms out there because it gives you increased podcast stats. It gives you all podcast platform listings and easy social media sharing. And did I mention it's free? That's right. So go ahead, go to the podcast app and download Anchor. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Awesome Nobody here. Out.
It's your boy J Arms.
Well, how do you think I feel about what's been going on? Let's talk about it for a minute. Well, how do you think I feel about what's gone wrong?
You're now listening to A-Rod Music.
Well, how do you think I feel about what's been going on? Let's talk about it for a minute. Well, how do you think I feel about what's been going on? Let's talk about it.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Awesome Nobody, and I got a very special episode for y'all this week. On this week's episode, we have somebody I would consider legendary. Rose from the underground to fame from his infamous BET Uncut video at the height of BET Uncut, and has honestly never stopped making music. And we'll talk about some of the new stuff today. Someone I would consider the right balance of lyrics, realism, and comedy. A true innovator in pushing the boundaries of music. Help me welcome to the show, the mighty Casey. Welcome to the show, my man.
Oh man, thank you for the kind words and introduction, man. That's really nice for me to hear, man. And it's good to know people know I'm still making music. Obviously, BET Uncut was a huge look for me. It was a kind of nationwide phenomenon. My video actually aired for 4 years straight, from 2002 to 2006. Which might be the longest amount of time video on BET has been in consistent rotation, and that led to being in the White Chicks movie, so shout out to the Wayans brothers. And yeah, I got all sorts of new music. I ain't had a hit like White Girls, but I've had a lot of music that I really hope will be timeless and will stand the test of time. And right now, I'm managing this group Mankind right now, and they're really amazing. They're like De La Soul meets Dead Present. They're really carrying on a kind of lyrical legacy set forth by people like, the Juice Crew, and then going on to like Tribe Called Quest, and even people like the Larks and Nas, and putting them all together, man. So yeah. It's really an honor to still be in the mix of this beautiful culture we call hip hop.
For real. I mean, because underlining anybody that puts out a song, right? Somewhere in the back of their mind is longevity. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though if they can't see it, they still think like, yo, I would still like to be doing this years and years down the line. And I mean, from what you just said, you're a prime example of that. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so just want to talk about the history, then we'll get into some of the new stuff. Like, so let's talk about like what the song White Girls, right? So right. I just want to know like what inspired. I'm pretty sure I know what inspired you, but
well, White Girls was, obviously it's a parody of the song White Line. So I grew up listening to like Weird Al Yankovic and it was so-called Dr. Demento, which would be like a lot of parody and funny music. And then I was a big fan of like Eddie Murphy's parodies on Saturday Night Live, or the parodies on The Living Color. And it was a time in the era, I think Necco just had a song called I Need Drugs, which is a parody of I Need Love. And I think a lot of rappers are kind of pushing the boundaries in terms of like shock value and stuff. So I felt like, that might be a song when I had the idea for just parodying White Lines and making it White Girls. That was the initial thought. And then, the Don't Tell Minister Farrakhan came when I was trying to match up the parody, they something like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I feel myself like as a pioneer in some ways in terms of like trolling. Cause I was kind of trolling in that song because I knew like white people would get mad, I knew black girls would get mad, and I knew a lot of people would find it funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was, again, when you kind of like semi-offensive, pushing the boundaries type of stuff. So that was a kind of thing. So I got the reaction I really wanted, out of that in terms of, and Uncut was just a perfect venue because they was kind of pushing the boundaries of sexuality and what you could show on TV at the time. And I felt I was kind of pushing the boundaries of what you could say in hip hop in terms of race and sex and stuff like that. So it was kind of like a perfect merger at the time because that video cost me $2 to make. Damn. $2, and I wound up making a lot of money off it. So it was just kind of like, right song, right place, right time, right era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo,
in terms of white girls, yeah.
The way you put it, I mean, I know the internet was still around, like YouTube and stuff, but it wasn't that definition of viral, right? I would almost say, like, yo, you had a viral hit before it was viral.
Right, exactly. It was viral to word of mouth. It was viral, like, yo, turn on BET. What do you mean I'm sleeping? It's 3:15. Turn on BET.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? This nigga's wilding.
Yeah,
you know
wilding, like the whole concept, wilding, and a lot of people. I think for me, I just got a TV in my room, right, or some shit like that, and staying up late, exploring all the other shit to explore, and then BET, I heard people talking about it, turned on the shit, and then I'm saying, seen the video, and and I was like just blown away, by the beat for one, and I know you said that was the play on words for the white lines,
yeah.
And then the video too. So here's another question: have you ran into any of the girls from the original video? Like since then?
The one black girl who was in it, she wound up she hooked up with one of my friends one time, and then not really. Someone from New Hampshire. They were like for the suburbs. I didn't even have nothing to do with them. Like the video director, he just put this was before we used Craigslist. He put out a Craigslist casting calls, and they just all showed up.
Damn,
and again, it was kind of before social media and stuff, so I wasn't getting none of they Instagrams or they Facebook, so I ain't seen too many of them.
Yeah, okay.
I would like to hear these stories how it affected their lives or something. You know what I'm saying? That'd be interesting for me.
Yeah, I got it. So with the BET Uncut, like, how did you even get a song on there? Like, did you have to how sort of now you upload? Did you have to upload it, or you actually knew somebody?
Nah. So I didn't know anybody and I didn't upload it. I think one of my friends, he was an alcoholic. He told me, everyone was telling me about Uncut. And I ain't seen it. I don't think I even had cable at the time. And then I would always show the white girl's video on my VHS player in my crib, and people would come over and watch it, like everyone in the hood, and like people would say that would be good for Uncut. And someone said, like, I might have seen the Uncut. And I did pass it. First, I think I passed it to a friend on VHS tape to get to BET because he knew someone there. But finally, I wound up calling. It was like there was a format you had to do. You had to get it on a special type of. You couldn't send it on a VHS press on DVD. It had to be on a special videotape. You had to fill out a form. You know what I mean? So I found that out just by calling, just like cold calling.
Wow.
And then so
that's dope. The power information, man. I mean, inquiring minds want to know, right? I mean, I always look at it now if I'm talking to somebody or just advice, like, yo, just call and ask, right? Like, just call and find out. Like, what the hell? Like, call a label, call this, call that. Like, it's nothing wrong.
Send an email, send a DM, and maybe 99 times you won't get a reply, but that one reply could change your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You over the phone. If they hang up, they hang up. Fuck them. Like,
exactly.
So that's crazy though, but that's great because Uncut was a phenomenon. A lot of good videos. I think the other thing I can remember was What That Thing Smelled Like. I don't know if you remember that.
Right, so remember when BET actually had like a prank that was bringing Uncut back. So I found like a lot of the people on Uncut because I figured, hey, they bring Uncut back, like we did it. And so I reached out to like Black Jesus. So I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook. Black Jesus, who did What That Thing Smell Like, Wax a Million, I Ain't Got No Panties On.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them because BT pulled an ill pump fake, man. I thought I was about to be lit again. They said they were going to bring back Uncut. This was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had another video ready. I'm like, I had a weed song. So I'm like, I'm going to come back on BT. I'm going to own Uncut again. And they pranked us. And it was just for a show that they canceled anyways because they had a fake punk.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I knew I wound up knowing most of the people with the big hits on also my man Crazy Al Kane. Shout out to Crazy Al Kane who had the TNA song, and Murs and Humpty Hump. You know what I mean? Like underground rappers was getting lit on Uncut for a while. Yeah.
So what did it do for your career? Like, what I'm saying? Like you said, this was an interesting time in technology because you said VHS, things weren't really placed on the internet. Like, did it springboard? Did you start doing shows? Like, what was the next step after that?
The shows was pretty good, like college radio airplay, a little bit of like, mainstream radio airplay. The biggest thing it did for me was it gave me a big check from the Wayans brothers. They gave me a sizable check for using that in the movie, and then I still get a lot of good publishing off that to this day because I get paid every time they show White Chicks. That's probably the biggest thing that it led to was the White Chicks movie. And then let me have a distributed album. I'm actually one of the first rappers with a digital distribution deal because in my contract with Traffic Entertainment, they wasn't even up on digital.
Yeah.
But, I had my email on the vinyl, and then I got reached out for someone that I owed her, and because of that, I was one of the first rappers really, selling on iTunes and stuff like that. So
Wow.
White Girls moved a lot of units. It still moves a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's still, even though I'm not seeing the downloads, like the streaming money is pretty much the same as the downloading money was.
Yeah.
10 years ago or so for the same song. It got me in rooms, you know what I'm saying, with like Shady and Atlantic. Unfortunately, like I really wanted to be that major label star, but I think it also might have pigeonholed me a little bit. Like they wanted to hear like another novelty song like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a gift and a curse, more of a gift and a curse, because I figured if that song didn't come out, like there's so many underground rappers like no one ever heard of, never got no more than 100, 200 views on YouTube or whatever. Or nice and creative, but since it's such a saturated market and it relies so much on, money and gimmicks and connections and stuff like that, they ain't do it. So, an overall big plus, like, I think it might have pigeonholed me in a little bit as a comedic rapper, which is cool because I feel like rap needs comedy, and that is part of me, but that's not my only part. Like, I want to be able to go and make a serious song tomorrow and then go back and joke again. Like, if you have an actor like Jim Carrey, he'll act like a clown in one movie and not have a movie with a serious message in the other. That's really what I'm trying to do with music. You know what I'm saying? Entertain, enlighten, and also tell stories. Like White Girls is like a story.
Yeah.
It's like a story of a dude, obsessed with white girls, chasing white girls. You know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, and like I was living in Boston at the time, and if anyone knows anything about Boston, it's because of the colleges. There were a lot of white girls, and I was seeing like a lot of my African American friends, engaged with her because ratio's good, and I guess there was at a certain point in history, black men definitely became sexy for a lot of white women out there because they also became sex objects. So it's kind of it's clarity in both, black men's attraction to white women and also white women's attraction to black men, and the stigma on it on interracial relationships and stuff like that beyond just the comedic value.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It definitely opened the doorway to a deeper, I guess, I don't want to say open it. I want to say shine light to what was already going on in smaller groups and sort of made it bigger, right? Because I remember, I remember, just being in a black and white school, and then the first dude crossing over to date the first white girl publicly, and then after that, it was like, yo, the floodgates was open. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole world over there, bro. Go check it out. And it's like, oh shit.
And that's what I think music and comedy is supposed to reflect what's going on, but that people might not be comfortable to talk about all the time, you know what I'm saying? And music and comedy is a way to kind of ease it in, make people laugh about it without, feeling that. Because when you deal with race and sex, I think not comfortable for a lot of people to talk about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why you get a lot of jokes based on race and sex, because this adds that little bit of uncomfortability of someone saying something you might have thought, but you were scared to say, like, oh man, let's see do something. I didn't really say he like white girls. Like, your man did say it, he did say it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's talk about where you're from. Are you from Boston?
I'm from Cambridge, which is like right outside of Boston. Like it's where Harvard and MIT are, so it's across the bridge. So we got the same like train system, but we got separate mayors, separate police forces. But like I was literally like a 2-minute drive from Boston. You know what I mean? 5 minutes on the train, like a 10-minute walk. So real close to Boston, but I was born in Cambridge. Like Patrick Ewing's from Cambridge. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck are from Cambridge. Got a couple other rappers. I don't know. They got a young white rapper called Millie's out of Cambridge. So it's different from Boston in a few ways. Like Boston was really segregated. You know what I'm saying? Growing up.
Yeah.
Right, but Cambridge was a little more integrated. There was a little more integration in Cambridge in terms of, black people and white people, working class. And also, because of Harvard and MIT, you have a lot of money in Cambridge, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean everybody in Cambridge was rich. Like, I had, like, Harvard professors' kids in my classes and crackheads' kids in my classes. So it was crazy. Like, you had, like, a level of, like, economic and racial diversity growing up in Cambridge that you might not have had in Boston, where you might have just in Boston, you might have just had like a poor white neighborhood in South Boston or a rich white neighborhood in Beacon Hill, poor black neighborhood in Roxbury, a more affluent black neighborhood in like the South End. In Cambridge, it would be all in one. You have, poor whites, poor blacks, rich whites, rich blacks, you know what I'm saying? All in the same neighborhood. So I was exposed to a lot of diversity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then so back then, and just for the people out there listening, what year did the song come out?
So I think officially came out 2001. It came out on vinyl, and then BET aired it first in November of 2002.
2002. Okay. So, like, other than you doing music in Boston, what was the music scene like out there?
Well, when I was real young, Ed O.G. had a song "Gotta Have It," and that song was lit. And he had a couple other really good songs, like "Love Comes and Goes," "Be a Father to Your Child," and he was cousins to a kid I knew in my neighborhood. So just being close to someone that kind of knew someone, a guy that came in confidence, like, yo, I could be a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My homie's cousin is a rapper. He's on Yo MTV Raps and BET, and you know he's on the radio, and you know like that type of stuff. And then again on the other level, you had the RSO, who had a real pronounced scene in Boston, not only musically but also on the streets. You know what I mean? They definitely had a reputation in the streets. In Cambridge, they did a radio station at Harvard, so they was definitely known for their street antics as well as their music. You know what I'm saying? And then coming in after that, when I kind of came into the Boston scene with like '99, you had a new like real underground, like almost a raucous influenced Boston scene where rappers like Acrobatic, Mr. Lift, like L.O.G. was like the OG, I'd say, for that. Like a lot of people with that old school conscious, lyrical, you know what I mean, but still street smart flows under the L.O.G. mold. So you had like Acrobatic, Mr. Lift, as I was talking about. You had a lot of good white rappers like 7L, Esoteric, Virtuoso. So you had a very lyrical scene that I was coming out of. So like, I think I'm very lyrically capable. I can lyrical miracle battle smaddle anybody, but like I don't necessarily know. So I feel like, you know, me coming as the comedic dude. Like my first big song was a song called Liquorland, which was all about drinking. You know what I'm saying? All about like name checking all sorts of alcoholic brands. And that song actually was pretty popular too. It was actually before White Girls. It got picked up on the West Coast by a real popular DJ named Mike Nardone, and it was on a compilation called We Came From Beyond with the Beastie Boys, Dilated Peoples, like, and a whole bunch of other like big time West Coast artists on that compilation. So the Boston scene kind of definitely developed from the, you know, the '90s when you just had like an Ed O.G., Marky Mark, RSO, to a more underground scene. You know what I'm saying? So you're not getting like big major label acts out of Boston, but you're getting a lot of very solid underground acts like Terminology. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing him come out of the Boston scene. The other MCs I've mentioned. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a real good lyrical scene. It's not really the best scene if you want to become like a mainstream pop MC, but if you want to like, you know, tour venues, get college mixed show radio, you know what I'm saying, get some nice little money touring out of Europe, Boston is a very good scene for breeding MCs who could do that.
Okay. Yeah, and you know, that's kind of the vibe I got from Boston, you know, just basically everything you said. I wasn't really familiar with the Cambridge area, you know, but I heard about, you know, just people coming out kind of solid. But that's honestly, that's pretty much what you should expect coming from a small area, you know what I'm saying? Like, not small, but just mean a small rap scene, you know what I'm saying? Or emerging rap scene.
Too.
Yeah.
Right, it's a college town, so you get a lot of college rap fans. So it's very, you know, lyrical, like, like, friendly battles. I remember when I first came up, it was like a battle in like '99. All the Boston rappers who went on to become popular was there. Acrobatic, Mr. Lift, Esoteric, Sage Francis, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of Rex, a lot of the popular MCs from Boston was there. And it was a real friendly battle scene. Like, it was just people really trying to out-rap each other and put in a couple of jokes rather than some... When you see the battle scene today, it's like when people dissing your mother, your sister, pulling up your old stuff. So it's like... There's a lot of like the old idealism of keeping it real and being lyrical and making, you know, being true to the art form rather than, you know, I gotta get that single, you know what I'm saying? Like,
had integrity.
Now you got artists, right? But you got good new artists out there right now, like Cousin Stiz, Michael Christmas. You know, Cousin Stiz a little street, Michael Christmas a little De La Soulish, but both of them vibe together. Yeah. So, you know, and I think both of them are still coming from that general, you know, underground boom bap hip hop tradition that drives to Boston, because Boston got so many college radio stations. So like that's how I got like accustomed to all like the boom bap underground stuff, because every college had a radio station. So every college was what they wasn't playing like Hot 97 mainstream stuff. They was all playing the underground, hard to find. So Boston's very underground, very lyrical scene, I would say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Very creative, but it hasn't. It's not. It's not the city that producing like like the Atlantas or the Houstons or the the Bay Areas, which are all like kind of similar sizes to Boston. You know what I mean? But you got other cities. DC is also not really producing rappers like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Philly obviously produce a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I can see that. So let's talk about your name, right? So Mighty Casey. So where did you get that from?
My government name is Casey.
Oh, okay.
And Mighty Casey, you know what I'm saying, is a famous. There's a couple famous Mighty Caseys. There was one, a baseball player who struck out. And my first rap before I had the name Mighty Casey was called Casey's Up to Bat. That was like a rap I had in the neighborhood. So like one of my first rap name was Casey's Up to Bat. You know what I'm saying? Because people would just take that name and make it my song. Or take that song and make it my name. And then there was also like a Twilight episode. Like people think I got it from the Twilight episode. I'm not even really familiar for it. I think I had a demo. I needed to give it somewhere. I needed a rap name. I was just like, Mighty Casey. Yeah. Because you know what I'm saying. So and just ran with it. It has a ring to it. It has a historical legacy. Not really a positive one because it's the story of Mighty Casey. And he's this ill baseball player and it's all tied up and he strikes out. So that's the famous thing. But I figure for him to be that ill and that mighty, he must have been really good before. And everyone strikes out every now and then. So, but those are the stories they tell though. They don't tell the stories about all the times he hit the home runs and won the game for him. They tell the story about the one time he lost.
Yeah, that's right. I always say they focus on what you don't do compared to what you do.
Right, exactly,
which is crazy, and even with social media, people curate it so that it looks like they only winning, right? You only see their successes. Nobody posts their failures, right? But no, I remember the story of Mighty Casey, and I think that now that you put it like that, I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because that's deeper meaning to it. I mean, that's life. I mean, it's attempts, it's tries, but it's not giving up. And with baseball, why not swing for the fence, right? I mean, it makes so much sense. Like, it feels like a waste if you're not going to hit the home run. Like, it's kind of like, yo, I'm going to do it or not do it.
Right, like if he fouled out, would have been a different story. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real.
If you got thrown out at first, we would have had the same ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Like, so forget all that other stuff. Just go shoot for the fences, That's dope. That's dope. So let's talk about the business from your perspective, meaning the music business, right? So I know you were saying like you were looking to get on a major at the time. Around that time, 2001, 2002, it was still a major game. But then independence.
This was more towards the end. This was kind of towards the end, like 2005, 2006 was when I was kind of like having my talking to people like Shady and Atlantic and stuff like that. So
let me just ask you this with the Shady. So did you ever meet Eminem personally?
No. I just met Riggs Morales, who was the A&R over there.
Okay, right. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I think he's the A&R at Atlantic right now. But he's the dude who gave Eminem like the unsigned hype.
Got it. And actually, just from your songs and think about Eminem's first song, My Name Is, I can see a lot of similarities. I mean,
he was all about the humor, the edginess. Like, obviously, like he was being edgy in terms of talking about murdering his baby mother and taking all sorts of drugs and guilty conscience, even wilding out. And I think I was pushing the edge on stuff that he couldn't do. You know what I mean? He couldn't really push the edge on racial issues. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, but honestly, when I was there, I don't have any, like, I don't look back and be like, oh, I would have been lit if that would have happened, because I think at that time, like, G-Unit was super hot, and then they had, like, all sorts of rappers like Cassius and Bobby Creekshaw. Like, Shady had a whole bunch of, like, lyrical dudes who they never really kind of saw in the light of day. So, I'm, like, I'm happy where I am today, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it was my goal definitely growing up, you know what I mean? To be like that major rapper on BET, on MTV, and on the radio. Obviously, it's a different world right now with the internet and the scales of things like that. But and the other was with Atlantic. I met Leo and also I didn't meet with Kevin Lyles. I met with Walter Randolph, who was his sister at the time. And those are my two meetings I had with major labels, and neither of them. And Rick really liked my stuff. Like, he told me a few times, like, yo, I listen to stuff on my iPod all the time, but it was just
the business part.
I think that in terms of the era right then, like, Shady was It was all about the unit. They weren't about no weird, funny.
Yeah, they were moving units
rappers.
like that was a basically what it was, a guerrilla unit. They came through and they was selling like crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it was really no need to even have a large portfolio when you basically getting everything you need from
Right.
one shop pretty much, you know.
Right,
So that
exactly.
makes it tough,
So,
you know.
like between 50 and them, they were just a machine. They didn't really.
Yeah.
That's all their marketing money right there.
Yeah.
was done throughout that. So it was good to have the experiences. I'm kind of, I can't really say because there's a lot of rappers who got signed major label deals, and then that kind of really stalled their career, really stifled them, and didn't give them creative freedom. Don't get me wrong, I would have liked the advance money. You know what I'm saying? and the opportunity, the opportunity to possibly have like a major label album, and get all the recognition and the accolades and the money and the fame that would have came with that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because, a lot of people, get on a label and kind of buy themselves out or can't leave or can't put out an album, and you waiting 4 years for this and they on a 5-album deal. You're like, man, that's too much headache over there with that stuff,
Right.
It's a gift and a curse with anything, especially with that business. It's a gift and a curse.
And then a lot of I'm like, who knows like what they would have asked me to do? You know what I'm saying? I always really enjoy my creative freedom and being able to do whatever song I want, put out whatever music I want when I want, and when you sign with a major, you kind of take those things away with you. And obviously, they do give you a lot of good things. I could access to work with maybe some good producers, access to collaborate with people, a radio budget, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not always given to all artists, depending. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely not. So let's talk about some of the new music, right? So you got the song out now called "The Boys on the Track," right?
Right.
And I listened to it, right? And I thought it was dope, right? I thought the beat was nice, you know what I'm saying? And you dudes were snapping on there. Like I said, when I introduced you, I definitely think that you always come with the lyrics, right? And I think in this one, you definitely see a lot of that. And Mankind is the second guy on the track, I'm guessing.
There's two of them. The group is Mankind.
The group is Mankind.
The second guy and the third guy are a group who I also manage, and I collaborate with them a lot. But I manage them as well. They have something like 16 projects in the past 2-3 years. You know what I mean? They've been getting a lot of love on social media and college radio. Like Ambrosia have OK Player. They've been on the college radio rap chart #1 for a while. Right now, Boys on the Track is #2 right now on the college radio rap chart.
Yeah, definitely was hard. The second guy, one of his lyrics, he said, "Bumpy Johnson get chicken pox." I was like, okay.
He's there. There's some amazing MCs, man, and they are also, on an intellectual level in terms of history and stuff like that, is why why they was kind of perfect for that collaboration.
Yeah, nice. And so let's talk about the Billy Jack, right? And so what's the inspiration behind that? What is Billy Jack Haynes, if I'm saying his name right, and why you choose that?
Right. So I wrote a book called Inside the CIA Secret War in Jamaica, and while I was reading that book, while I was researching for the book, I came across a lot of allegations and documents about Bill Clinton being involved in the cocaine trade in Arkansas for the CIA. I knew from before, from Gary Webb's book, The Dark Alliance, with Freeway Ricky Ross and all that the CIA was, selling cocaine to help fund the Contras in Nicaragua. But I didn't really know that Bill Clinton was a CIA agent, and I didn't know that he was moving the cocaine. So I did all that research for the book, and then I saw a story about Billy Jack Haynes. Now, Billy Jack Haynes is an old wrestler from the 80s, pretty popular wrestler. He would wrestle King Kong Bundy, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. He wasn't the biggest star, but he was well known. But recently he came up with a story of confession that he sold cocaine and trafficked cocaine with a guy named Barry Seal. Barry Seal, they just made a movie about him with Tom Cruise. He's in Narcos. He's kind of like a legendary CIA cocaine trafficker, drug smuggler, used a lot of planes. So he said that he bought cocaine from him, and that Barry Seal introduced him to Bill Clinton, and then Bill Clinton started using him for muscle, sent him to kill somebody, and then later sent him to be muscle on a drug drop off in Arkansas. And they caught 2 boys like trying to fuck with the drug drop or take it or whatever, or they was just witnesses. Bill Clinton's people killed the two boys, and Billy Jack put them on the train tracks. And then the train track ran them over, and then there was a big cover-up. They said they smoked 20 joints, 20 marijuana joints, and they just passed out on the train track because, you know, it was really the cops. And the feds was moving the coke, so they was able to, you know, try and cover it up at best. But then Billy Jack Haynes recently said, yo, Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas at the time, asked me to kind of cover it. And it's always been like a big unsolved mystery, like who killed the boys on the tracks. There's been like documentaries on it. Yeah, it's been an unsolved mysteries. There's always been like who killed them. And then Billy Jack Haynes, like a year ago, came out and said, yeah, I was moving coke with Bill Clinton's people, and then he wound up using me for muscles, and then he named all the people who killed him. And like I had researched it before for my book, not that it had too much to do with Jamaica, but just it had a lot to do with the CIA selling cocaine. And all the facts he was talking like matched with my research. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I take the beginning. If you listen to the intro for Boys on the Tracks, that's Billy Jack. Mm-hmm. And you know, selling cocaine with Barry Seal and working with, he doesn't name him in the intro, but he calls him a criminal drug dealing politician from Arkansas. Yeah. In another interview, he names him directly, and he names all the people who were involved in the killing, which include like a couple police officers, a couple lawyers, you know what I'm saying? And a few of the people, like all of them got involved in the drug game, like arrested, except for one who wound up becoming the czar of Arkansas, like one of the top cops. So it's some real funny, shady stuff going on in Arkansas. So again, like, you know, like, so I try to like make a movie out of it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of the time the news won't reach people because like the people in power don't want to have it. So like a lot of times like people might like, Chuck D said it when CNN was seen as something legitimate, not the BS is now. Like Chuck D said, like hip hop is like Black America's CNN. And I think obviously, you know, what CNN should be is like the news people need to know, not like the gossip or the propaganda.
The propaganda.
So I feel like hip hop, because you have so much propaganda and stuff in the news, like hip hop is one of the last few venues you can, you know, get an immortal technique questioning 9/11 or something. You know what I'm saying? Or Prodigy talking about Illuminati and stuff like that. You kind of question these things. So, you know, like I'm a journalist too, so I can write. Like I write articles, I write books and everything. But I feel like sometimes when I write articles, it just reaches a certain sect of people. Mm-hmm. But if I bust a rap about it, it might reach a whole new set of people. You know what I'm saying?
It shines light onto it. Yeah. Man, hold on, man. I'm not even gonna lie. That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot behind it, man.
I had no idea it was that deep. But I mean, you know, to your last part, you're right. You know, using the platform that hip hop has to reach the masses is definitely a way to get a message out, and also the way to get the truth out. You get what I'm saying? Because you can't. There's something about, you know, people expressing themselves in rhyme form that you know what I'm saying makes people listen more, right? Especially when it's something they're not familiar with or something they might not know. And for me, I'm thinking the whole time, like, what is the Billy Jack? What's the Boys on the Track, right? And then listening, you know, I'm big on lyrics, so I'm listening and hearing you break it down, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a dope concept. You know, I think you guys executed it well. You know what I'm saying? I like the video. I like how y'all put it together with the guy at the beginning. You know, who was the Billy Jack? That was Billy Jack. And you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, great job for y'all. Then you said you wrote a book, like that's huge right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So I was a journalist for a long time, and then after I stopped journalism, I got an offer from my homie Paul Stewart, who's like a music consultant on the show Snowfall, is a music supervisor for Fast and Furious. So he's been in the music business for a while, but he started a book company, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to write a book." I was like, "All right." He was like, "Yo, just pick whatever your favorite articles is from News One, the place I was working for, and then let's make it a book." And so that popped off, and that really changed the way I look at like life, and especially the government and stuff like that, in terms of stuff like, because I didn't just learn about Jamaica, I learned about stuff like the JFK assassination, which was definitely an inside job by like the CIA, Allen Dulles, George and Prescott Bush, you know what I mean? The mafia. It was a big conglomerate of evil people trying to take out the duly elected president of the United States so they could continue their wars and their oppressive policies. The assassination of MLK, that's another big thing. Like, if you really do the research on it, you'll really see that the government was behind that.
Yeah.
And then Iran-Contra, I was always familiar with Iran-Contra, and I knew there was some cocaine going on. But I thought it was just some broke CIA officers, like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I need to fund this war, so I don't want to tell my boss what I'm doing. But it was actually coming down from George H.W. Bush and the top down, like the highest people in the CIA. It wasn't no rogue officers, like, selling cocaine. That's their policy, is to sell cocaine.
Yeah, I can
you know what I mean?
that.
From the top down, from presidents like Bill Clinton was the president, and before that, he was a cocaine trafficker. You know what I mean? It's just the governor was just his cover that to allow him to, you know, use the state of Arkansas as a drug stop-off place that would flood the rest of the America with cocaine and cause the crack epidemic.
Yeah, that's you know, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about the depths, you know what I'm saying, that this country has gone to, you know what I'm saying, for some of the I want to say the more darker activities, man, like from all the way, I mean, going back as far as you remember. And then, you know, just the whole war on drugs, the whole drug thing is deep. I mean, the whole, my introduction was Cocaine Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, as far as a documentary. And and it just from there, just seeing how it all connects, you know what I'm saying? So it's really, really deep. I mean, even getting into music, like, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know, but there's a lot of, you know, I want to say street story or urban documentaries on people that played large roles. I mean, you've got, you know, basically the Supreme Team. You got a lot of different people doing stuff, you know, and has, you know, connections to the government. You hear it all the time. You hear all the time, all the time, you know, all the time, you know, but,
even, I mean, like, even if you talk about, like, even, Frank Lucas, you know what I mean, which was one of the big first, he was getting his heroin from East Asia from the CIA, you know what I'm saying, like that. And then he wound up turning informant. Nicky Barnes was getting his heroin, I think, from the same place. So you get in like a cycle, like you get a big, they're trying to fight a war in a place with drugs. They ship the drugs to America, get America's hooked on them, and then they use that money to not only, you know what I'm saying, they line in their own pockets too, they get rich off it, but they also using it to continue their wars, because wars is their business. As long as wars is going and people is buying weapons, that's good. So if drugs fund wars, they want drugs for that. So that's what you were seeing in Vietnam with Frank Lucas. There's another one, I don't know, like there's a couple of good like street documentary people like Al Prophet. Al Prophet is one of the people I see who, when they do the street documentary, they go to the CIA angle as well. Because a lot of street documentaries, I feel they just show the hood stuff. They just talk about the shootings. They just talk about the money that was made and the betrayal.
Don't talk about who brought it in.
Exactly. But I think Al does a good job in terms of, he has one called, a documentary called White Powder, Black Power, which kind of shows the connections between the CIA on several levels, from Iran-Contra all the way back to the Vietnam War. You know, we interviewed some interesting people. Who's my man? Felix Milian Rodriguez, or you know what I mean? Milian Rodriguez, I forget his first name, but he interviewed one of the interesting CIA whistleblowers who was an accountant who kind of blew the whole Iran-Contra cocaine connection to the Cali cartel, like, connection, because, you know, and then now recently you're just getting Pablo Escobar's son saying his father worked for the CIA, so a lot of this stuff is coming out now, and you're still getting propaganda. Like, Narcos is a good show, but it's propaganda, you know what I mean? That story is not true, and they always leave off the CIA. Like, Kiki Camarena, the one who got killed, my man played in the last one in Narcos Mexico, he was killed by a CIA agent called Felix Rodriguez, but that's not even in there. He's not even a character. You see Barry Shield in Narcos, and there's no mention of him working for the CIA. So that they use these shows to kind of carry on their propaganda and change the narrative on what really happened, and eliminate the CIA's role in, you know, all the major drug epidemics. Like right now, you have an opiate epidemic. You know what I'm saying? And where did that start off from? You got a war in Afghanistan that's been going on for 18 years, and like I think the heroin production after the invasion, after CIA came in, went tripled or quadrupled or 10 times, something like that. And then you're seeing that the Afghanistan prime minister's brother is a major heroin warlord and also a CIA agent. So you're just getting it all around, man. But the average person who's going to watch MSNBC or Fox or read the New York Times, or not even do that, the average person might just check World Star or Media Takeout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, none of them, even the people who think they're informed are not informed. The people who think they're smart because they watch MSNBC and read the New York Times and the Washington Post, and they think they're so smart because they can regurgitate propaganda. They're just as out of it as the people who watch a World Star and read a Media Takeout.
They're being shown a selection of what they want you to know.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this: with that being said, you know what I'm saying about, do you vote?
I did vote for Joe Stein. I voted for Obama and Clinton in the past. I feel like the Democrats are just like control opposition. Like, I was a big Obama fan. I'm biracial. I'm mixed like Obama. I went to Columbia University. You know what I'm saying? Like, I identify with him. But the more and more I learned about him while doing my research, it seems like he was a CIA agent himself. Like, it seems like his mother was a CIA agent hopping around Indonesia, working for all sorts of CIA front companies. And then Obama first, I went to Columbia, right? For years, I was so proud. I was like, wow, we're going to have a black president. I went to Columbia. I tried to find a picture of the dude. No pictures of him in Columbia. No graduation pictures. No picture of him and the homies chilling on the steps. No pictures of him in the gym. Not one picture. Not one picture. They won't release his transcripts, and nobody knew him back then. And his first job outside of Columbia, where he allegedly graduated from, even though it seems like he spent a lot of time in Pakistan and not really Columbia at the time. His first job outside was at Business International Corporation, which is a CIA front company. So I know I just went on a bit of a tangent. So no, I don't really plan on voting because I feel like all the options are so bull. You know what I mean? Like, what they've done right now is we have two warmongering parties. You know what I mean? Like, so like that's when I see like Donald Trump being a bit of a distraction. But like, everyone hates Trump. The immigrants, everyone he says a lot of horrible stuff. When you look at what Obama did, Obama was so smooth, nice, and cool. But Obama was bombing the hell out of Libya, turned Libya to a slave state. It was a very progressive state, but he decided to invade it with Hillary Clinton for some reason. Look what's going on in Syria. All these stuff. So it seems like the Democrats, in terms of like foreign policy, and also being connected to the CIA, like Obama, a CIA agent, Bill Clinton was a CIA agent, so I'm grateful for Hillary too. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like it's all the same people. Just it's just like you at a buffet, and you only get two choices. You just get red beef or uncooked beef. You know what I mean? You don't really get a choice. So I'd rather speak my mind and use my energy to give people the truth. And if I'm where I'm registered to vote at the time of an election, and my father or my mother, whoever's going to vote, I'll go vote with them. But that's not anything. I think we really need a new political party that really represents the people and not the corporations. Like, if we see that, like, I might vote for a Cynthia McKinney, a Jill Stein, a third-party candidate. But the Democrats and Republicans are so horrible. There's two sides of the same coin, and they just divide and conquer the people. So they get people mad at each other over race, immigration, sexuality. So everyone's forgetting the fact that they're taking their tax money and bombing countries and getting themselves rich. Like, everyone's mad about socialism when you talk about giving money for education. But when you give $13 trillion out of everybody's tax money for the war, nobody complains because they've conditioned people to just accept the fact that, you know what I mean, wars need to happen when they don't. These wars need to happen because you got a certain percent of the people who get rich
off of wars.
So they use their money to buy politicians who will continue to push these wars. You know what I'm saying? I might vote, but it's not like my strategy. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't know. I haven't voted since I voted in 2016. I didn't vote in no midterms. I probably won't. I'm not going to vote in no primaries. These Democrats are so horrible, man. They're so boring and uninspiring. You got Kamala the Cop Harris. You got Cory Booker. And both of those dudes is the worst in that they're the ones giving to the military industry. They gave Trump more money for the military than he wanted. Like, why if Trump is so bad, why are you giving him all these weapons and bombs and military money? You know what I mean? Like, and all their support for Israel. You know what I mean? It's like Cory Booker and Kamala Harris talking about how they plant trees for Israel. Like, they're just trying to be like Obama clones, and neither of them have it. Bernie, whatever. Joe Biden seemed wild, bro. He seemed like he's off the rocker, bro. Like, I think someone's drugging him. I think they do this a lot. They when people get old,
Yeah.
I know the Republicans do it. They'll
medicine.
start drugging them. Yeah, they'll put LSD in your coffee or whatever.
That's crazy.
And so you have a meltdown. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden's all these gas and stuff is someone messing with him. Because I think the Republicans might be scared of him the most because he's an old white man.
Old white guy, yeah. I mean, I look at it like this. I look at it like it's all the same league, right? You know what I'm saying? NBA. And you just got different teams in the same league,
right,
and
exactly.
somebody's running it. You know what I'm saying? And at times, it seems like that because they'll come together, let's say the Senate or somebody, Congress will come together on a topic, but then the president will be divided. You know what I'm saying? And they're all aligned and they won't be aligned. It's a whole bunch of back and forths, you know what I'm saying, with the policies and this person doing that, personal agenda, you know.
And then they divide everyone. They get all the Trump supporters mad at the Antifa people while they laugh and they trend. I learned, like, Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, she was, like, almost best friends. She called him her mentor, Roger Ailes. Now, Roger Ailes ran Fox. He's dead now. They got a movie on him on Showtime, like a 3-4 part series movie about his life. But he was a sexual harasser. He was a damn near rapist. He was super right-wing, anti-immigrant, anti-gay people, anti-black people, everything. And Rachel Maddow was his best friend, having lunch with him every month.
Yeah.
So you got to think that, and Rachel Maddow is supposed to be the super feminist lesbian. She loves people of color, but her mentor is because they just want to divide people. They just want to get people mad at everyone, but the wars and the 1%. There's not even a 1%. It's like the 0.00001% or the predator class.
What he said, I think I've heard him say like the 18% of the 1% or some shit.
Exactly. It's a very small percentage of evil people who manage to get the whole country to do a lot of evil things, man. Because ignorance is a terrible thing. Like the people in Nazi Germany, they didn't know Hitler was out there killing Jews. They didn't know, like, they probably thought he was good to invade. They probably thought fucking the English were the bad guys. Hitler's the hero. Like, yeah, get him, Hitler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you have ignorant people, like, you know what I mean? Ignorant people is just as bad as evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Because you can get ignorant people to do evil things.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's get back to the music, right? So let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, inspirations, motivations, and passion, right? For music. So when it comes to inspiration, what are some of your, like, I don't want to say top 5, but like what are some of your inspirations? You know what I'm saying? I mean, your favorite rappers that you grew up on.
I was more influenced by groups early, so Run DMC had me into like hip hop so heavy. Like they had their album Raising Hell was so amazing to me. You know what I mean? Like I can still listen to that album right now, and it don't sound dated. It sounds like some fresh boom bap with mad energy. So Raising Hell by Run DMC, an amazing album. That was the first vinyl album I bought. You know what I'm saying? Growing up. So that album was a huge influence, and then Slick Rick was great. I love his storytelling, sense of humor. Biz Markie again with the sense of humor. And Biz Markie, you know, like I wasn't the cool kid in the neighborhood. I wasn't the Big Daddy Kane and the LL Cool J, you know what I mean, getting all the girls playing ball. Or I wasn't the Coochie rap tough guy, you know what I'm saying? But like a dude like Biz just being himself, even though he's different, but he's still with the homies, he's still rapping with Kane and all that. Tribe Called Quest and Shoot, I love them.
Yeah,
I
Tribe,
love them.
definitely Tribe.
Tribe there, and then later De La, you know what I mean?
Yep, De La.
Nas is one of them rappers that just made me have to like throw away my rhyme book. Like, damn, I can't rhyme like this anymore. He just, you know what I mean? Like, I got to step everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. I would definitely say Biz Markie definitely set a precedence for music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember, like, you know, just watching the early MTV, you know what I'm saying? And they used to run that video a lot, you know, Just a Friend.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to just be amazed by how dope that was. Like you said, going back to the story, right? I used to be amazed how dope that was. And just to see Biz Markie do his thing, I mean, he had a flair about him that, you know what I'm saying, nobody else had. Same thing with Big Daddy Kane.
Exactly, but it's different, and I really appreciated that the diversity that hip hop was having. Because, you know, again, I might not have been I might have had some friends who were selling crack, and they was a tough kid, and they might have been able to relate to Mobb Deep or Wu-Tang at that level. But you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I was able to relate to, like, you know, Souls of Mischief, Far Side, you know what I'm saying, Tribe Called Quest, in terms of them, while I'm still feeling the energy. Yeah, I actually did a movie with Slim Kid Trey from the Far Side. He's a really cool dude. Like, that was it. They're another one of my favorite groups right there, and again, with the humor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%. You know, I used to put people on the Far Side. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Jersey, right?
Okay, yeah, I see 72. My father lives in Marlboro, so
okay, yeah, that's not too far.
I recognize this. Yeah.
And and I used to, you know, they song Dropped, you know, really hit me off, and also, you know, Running was some big one, and I'm trying to think of the one, She Keeps On Passing Me By.
That was a hit. And they had another song before that, Your Mama, which was really another. So, like, XXL got, like, top 10 funniest rap songs of all time. And I don't think I'm there at number 9.
Oh, okay.
And then they're right there at number 10. So that was cool because that's me and my men, you know what I'm saying? Right there on the same list for funniest rap songs, you know what I'm saying? And that's good, man. Because I feel like, you know, I've always been a humorous person. Like, I consider myself funny. I just don't want to be treated as a joke. So that's why I might not have just continued in that humor lane. Because I feel once you do that, and you just put yourself as the person who's always cracking jokes, then when you want to say something serious, people are going to laugh again, you know what I'm saying? So I try to use humor as a tool to educate people when I can, you know what I'm saying? Because there's lots of different ways you can speak to people, you know what I mean? You can do music, through jokes, through poetry, you know what I mean? Through writing, memes, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think, you know, to your point and just your whole style, you got to look in yourself and find out who you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, I know you're really comfortable with who you are, and you present that accordingly to your music. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people be confused. They create an alternate personality that's not them, right? That's totally fake, and it comes across as, I want to say, posterized, right? Meaning like there's this person that they put on the pedestal, but it's not like them, you know? That it's an act, basically.
Right. Well, there's creative people, and there's people who can, like, duplicate. And I think, like, a lot of people who aren't necessarily creative, but are motivated by money, fame, women, whatever they see with hip hop, they'll be able to, you know, duplicate, see what they see, rap like Jay, you know what I mean? Or dress like a certain person, or, you know, use that same formulaic, like, you know, money, cars, weapons, drugs formula, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a formula that works, you know what I mean? So you get people who do that, but I think the really true creative people are people who can, I'm not knocking that, because I love Griselda, and they're using that money, drugs formula, but they're attacking it in a creative, different type of way than your other people. And also they're talking about what they know. Like, I can't, you know, knock anyone like that from the streets of Buffalo. I don't expect them to talk about ancient Egyptian science, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, I agree. It's definitely, it's better to present yourself, you know, and they're a prime example of that, you know. I'm thinking of you know, De La Soul, and
love De La Soul.
Mostly Plug One. I mean, holy shit, man. I mean, underrated or what? You know?
Plug One is Pause. Which one is Pause and which one is True Boy? Plug One is Pause. Amazing MC. Amazing, and that's why I feel like when people talk about, like, top 10 lists, I gotta bring groups up. I gotta bring Outkast up. Like, everyone will bring up Dre when they talk about top 10 MCs. He's the only MC they'll bring up out of group. They won't say Q-Tip. They won't say, you know, Pause. They won't say, you know what I mean? They might say Chuck D or Chris, even though they was in groups, they was the only MC in the group, really. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah,
I mean, Pause and Plug One verse on they basically most famous song was almost legendary. I mean, I think that changed how a lot of people raps just on what he brought to the mic. I was like, oh man, because I know they recently released a whole catalog, I believe, for free. And when I went back and was just listening to the instrumentals, and I was like, man, this dude was a monster.
Well, they was doing it. It's unfortunate because the reason they released it for free was because of all the samples. You know what I mean? They couldn't really.
Yeah, couldn't do nothing with it.
So, but also the layering. I love the skits. Like, I saw like the recent Little Brother album. Yeah. And that's something I'd like to do. I wish I could have showcased my humor a little more.
Oh yeah, through like
by
skits.
Doing like skits. Yeah. I love Prince Paul, man. He's like. He turned those albums into like movies or TV shows, like series, you know what I mean? The whole.
Yeah, skits used to be a whole part of life, you know? Like, you couldn't have an album without a skit.
Yeah, some classic. Wu-Tang had the classic ones. I love the Wu-Tang skits.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives it a personal touch to music. You get what I'm saying? Because when you just have 10 songs, 13 songs, or even back then, you know, with a CD, it used to be 18 songs. It would be if you just it would put you to sleep. Literally, if you listen to it, even no matter how dope it is or who it is, if you just listen to music, and let's say you're in a car or something, that's gonna put you to sleep. But if it changed the tone a little bit,
you gotta change the energy. Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, wait. Yeah, let me listen to this.
The problem is that people don't consume music by album too much anymore. They're doing like playlists. Or they're watching on YouTube, or you know what I'm saying?
Feature artists, Yeah.
They're they're not really consuming whole albums like they used to. So that whole like the skits would be like they would be like little marking places in the albums, little introductions, or a little like De La Soul would like tell a story with the skits, and then the songs will go with the skits, so you just get like a whole complete package of an album, not just a collection of songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the unfortunate things that happens when music changes.
So let me ask you this. So we got the new group Mankind, you know, you got your musical history. Two questions. So if you personally could collaborate with somebody, let's say either industry, underground, or other, who would it be with? And then the same thing, if you and the group Mankind could collaborate with some people, who would it be?
I would like to just off his influence and his creativity. I would like to go with Kanye. I think Nas still got it. I think Nas and Mankind would be amazing if I could. And then like I would love to work with all the artists. Chuck D, you know what I mean? Q-Tip, you know, and rest in peace, Phife. I got the opportunity to interview Phife Dawg, which is really cool.
Oh, that's dope.
And and I was supposed to collaborate on some comedy with Sean Price, but I never got to do it. So it's like now when I think about this stuff, I'll be like, damn, I really should work with these people. You know what I'm saying? Because you never really know when the chances we get. So I would love to work with right now in terms of new people coming up. I would love to do something with Griselda, like, you know what I mean, with them doing their thing, but me also kind of, you know, dropping the CIA level to that shit. You know what I mean? I really love West Side Gun and Conway and their voices, and I would love to do something real gritty with them, but also like on some historical, political stuff, because they do shine a light, not as much as I like to see be done, but you know what I'm saying? But obviously it's their careers when they're doing that, but they do definitely shine a light on like Reaganomics and the influences behind the crack era, and I would like to see some more of that. So I love to collaborate with them in terms of them doing something new. I like this kid Kyle. He's like a little Bismarck kid. She makes
Kyle,
yeah. So like on the other flip end of like some happy, funny shit, I would love to do some shit with him, because I think he's like a mix between Bismarck and Drake. You know what I mean? Like he's a little more grounded and a little more funny, a little more self-deprecating than Drake, but he still has like that ability to sing. He's a good singer, and he can rap as well, and he's singing this really funny stuff. And I like doing that stuff too. So I like to work. Kyle, West Side Gun, Conway. Who else? What I'm messing with? So listen to.
I think you and Kyle would be a dope combination, yo. Did you see his movie? Was it called The After Party?
I did. I liked it. He has a good charisma. He also has a show on Fuse called Sugar and Toys, which is like a black robot chicken.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, unfortunately, not too many people have Fuse, but you know, I think you can watch a lot of it online. It's done by this dude Carl Jones who did the Boondocks. But Kyle I like a lot. I'm trying to think some female MCs who I like coming up new. Besides West Side Gun and Conway.
Well, really, I mean, you said it with Griselda. I mean, there was a lot of people I feel like that was in the conversation of up and coming, but then now Griselda just captured the whole underground market. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's really just them. So now it's really just like Griselda, underground, almost mainstream, and then you got a whole bunch of people mainstream now. You know what I'm saying? Got Uzi coming back.
I think what Griselda did is an awesome thing. Like, you do not, to make a living and be successful and famous, you do not need to be on mainstream radio. You just need to have a bunch of devoted fans, sell merch. So I love to use their model for Mankind. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a radio hit, but I would never want to rely on a radio hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
I see with white girls, like, you know what I mean? You can have one hit, and then You just, you know what I mean? No matter how dope your music is, if the gatekeepers ain't feeling you, you're not going to be able to rock off.
Yeah, that's
unless
true.
you could get create a, and it's hard to create a serious vinyl movement or moment, you know what I mean, without at least some type of corporate backing or some type of money behind you, no matter how dope your shit is.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. That is 100% right. You know, yeah. So I could definitely see that. So I was gonna say, as far as like motivations, right? And when it comes to like writing songs, like what's your process like? I know a lot of people, you know, do different things. Do you still use pen and paper? Do you like hear a beat and then get instantly inspired? Do you like, you know, saying sort of do like the Jay-Z method where the beat plays and then you sort of go over lyrics? Like how do you break a song down?
It's a little, well, with Mankind, they have a distinct process where like a producer will send them 12 beats, they'll name the tracks, and then they'll write to that. So when I'm collaborating with them on their projects, I'll follow that. I'll just go with the beats, go with the vibe. And for me, I think even for Billy Jack and a couple of the songs, first I had the idea for the hook. The hook came first with Billy Jack, and then I think the verse came, and then I heard the sample. I was like, wow, this sample will work well for that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I brought it to Mankind, like, yo, I got a hook, a verse, and a beat. Why don't y'all finish it? You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened. So it could be idea first, it could be a beat first, it could be just a lyric. It could be a lyric, like, oh, that's a dope lyric, but where can I fit that in? Like, oh, I could expand on it. You know what I mean? So it's a different process, and I feel kind of blessed at this point in my life where I rap, but I don't require a rap to feed me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't force myself to have no ideas. Like, oh, I got to rap. So like when I do have an idea, I'm really excited about it. You know what I'm saying? So you know, and any MC that ever want to collaborate, I'm real good at money. I'm a studio MC. I'll come in, I'll listen to the beat, 15 minutes, feel your vibe. That's a process I can do as well. But some songs I might just take like a year with and just be like, yo, just edit. Like, nah, I don't need that line. Yeah. Oh, let me add this here. You know what I mean? Because it's not really a rush all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's different processes. You know what I mean? The different. It just gets there. You know what I mean? It can start with the beat. It can start with the hook. It can start with the lyric. It can start with an idea, and just, you know, however I get there, I get there from there.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, I heard Lupe say it one time. Lupe said everybody was asking him where his album was, and he was like, look, y'all, this is not a race. Okay. You know, I'm going to take the time to come up with what I need to come up with for my quality, not my quantity, you know, and that's
a problem with today's era. It's kind of like fast food music where you need to constantly like put out product to stay relevant. Well, like when I was coming out, like rappers would come out with an album every 2-3 years. Now you got to be like, you know, you got to have like 2 mixtapes. So yeah, but I mean, it works for Griselda. Like they cranking out, like they, you know what I mean? But I don't know if it works for everybody.
Yeah. You know, you're right. They cranking out, and you know, I think they were just ready. You know, they were 100% ready.
Well, once you get a formula,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not hard to just keep on having, like with Motown, they had their formula, they had their songwriters, they had their sound. Once you get a formula and a sound, and you know what I mean, like you just keep on replicating that process. You know, they got great producers like Derringer, Alchemist, you know what I'm saying, just giving them great food for them to eat up. Man. And they obviously is very capable of eating up the beat. So
appetite.
It's all about, it's about kind of a process. And that's why Mankind definitely has like a process. So like they're putting out like whole projects like at a pretty fast rate, but it's still the time and attention to detail you might have gotten off like a Tribe album that's coming out every 3 years. You're getting from a Mankind project that's coming out every 3 months. I think one reason too is like before studio time was so expensive and it took so much to get out a project. You know what I mean? You had to press out the CDs, you had to get it to radio, you had to do it. But right now, all you got to do is get it to the internet. Like you might even have a home studio. You could live in the studio. You don't got to pay no $400 an hour for studio. You might be able to master it yourself on Lambda. You might not. You might be able to have your homeboy giving you beats for free. You know what I mean? So it's a process where you can produce a lot more music than back in the day when, you know, it was a lot more expensive and time consuming to record. It was a lot more expensive and time consuming to put out a project.
Yep, that's true. So tell me, what's next for Mankind?
Next for Mankind, they got a project called Snap, which is influenced by like Marvel. You know what I mean? So they have a lot of like thematics. So they have a project called Snap, like Thanos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like they have a project called 8-Bit Genesis, which all the titles are like video game titles. So it's like a video game influence. They have a cartoon project. They have like 3 Black History projects. So the next one is Snap. And then after that, they go on their first project. No, not their first original project with original beats, which came out in 2016, was Election Year. So they're coming out with a 3-part election year too. We'll be talking about the whole political season. So that's going to be very good and interesting.
Wow.
So I've heard a lot of it. You know what I mean? So far, both projects sounded real good. So hopefully they'll cause a little spice up in the presidential election next year. And then the other thing I do that I have is a music video startup. This is another thing. It's a music video generator called MVGen. This is actually how I found Mankind. So any artists out there that wanna like get video content for their music, all you gotta do is upload your MP3 or YouTube or SoundCloud link to MVGen, and then you can pick what you want in the video. So if you want cars, girls, houses, if you want running, you want anything you can think of, the lyrics, the title of the song, any basketball player, any celebrity, anything. You just type them in, and we'll crank out a music video for you. By trying to get to match those keywords.
And that's the company you started?
Yeah, I'm co-founders with my boy John Lee. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's dope,
so
man. Congratulations. That's dope.
MVGen.com. So I put out a lot of Mankind content through that, some Mighty Casey content, a lot of Griselda content too. So you know how like you got a song called Mr. T, so we got a song that's all Mr. T gifts for, you know what I mean? Or any other old wrestling videos, you know what I mean? It'll be all like wrestling gifts. So any up and coming rappers, artists, or even fans, if you want to have some fun and make a video for your favorite artist.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna get at a try because I did a song called "What If There Was No Kanye," and I think I never shot a video for it.
Kanye. You could just type in Kanye West, and it will just be like Kanye. Or you have or there's filters where Kanye could be shot. Yeah, like they'll have guns coming out shooting Kanye.
So I'm gonna get at a try this weekend, and I'll tag you.
Yeah.
And what's your and then for you, what's next for you, man?
What's next for me? So I'm just focused on MVGen right now, a little bit, trying to get that popping, trying to get some major deals, trying to kill my Mankind, really trying to promote this single, Billy Jack. We got a B-side called Martin Had a Dreamcast. And it's, Malcolm had an Xbox, and it's all kind of like Black history and video games. So that's going to come out right after this. So trying to come out with this. I think I might want to start a podcast. I got a lot of political views, a lot of knowledge to spread. So I wouldn't mind starting a podcast and just musically going with the flow. I actually had a reggae project I put out last year that I put out with some friends of mine. And one of the artists I worked with for that project was a reggae artist by the name of Jabami out of Trinidad. So we got a lot of songs on deck. So, he helped me out with my album. So I kind of want to produce the album for him, you know what I mean, with some nice little reggae, hip-hop, rock vibes, some soca in there. So keep on collaborating with Mankind, and then the MVGen Mankind. I don't know if I'll write another book, but I still want to continue promoting my book. I don't feel the book has reached its mass, has really gotten to its audience yet. So still want to keep on promoting the book. Still promoting the new music.
In the book, can you get the book off Amazon?
Yes, on Amazon. Inside the CIA's Secret War in Jamaica. It's about 200 pages. It's an easy read.
All right.
Really eye-opening.
Okay, yeah, man, from the information you dropped, I mean, it was heavy. That shit was heavy, and it definitely seems like an eye-opener. And, I would definitely say, for as far as a podcast, man, we need more podcasts out there with the level of information and the depth you bring in. And I know you're familiar with loudspeakers.
Yeah, shout out to A-King. I talked to A-King a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Combat Jack and R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. Combat, of course.
Man, I was like, my big dream would be like, once I get my career ready, I just go over it from top to bottom with Combat. But thank you. You helped. You did a good interview as well. So R.I.P. Combat. And I definitely shout out to Dallas Penn. Dallas is definitely the homie. A-King is the homie. They is one of the first people I probably pitched to.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was at an event and they had one in Soho right when they dropped the Mogul joint, and I believe you was there too. I remember seeing you with A-King.
Yeah, that was the first day that Combat was sick because he ain't show up.
Yeah.
I think it was Redman. A-King interviewed Redman. I was like, wow. Why didn't Jackie show up to his own podcast? And the next thing you know, and you know how we think we think black men are invincible, you know what I mean? That's so it's another thing, like at my age, I got to start thinking about my health as well. Because, thinking So I didn't even holler at him like, "Joe, get better." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna be back. You're gonna be good."
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and then he, he right up, and then he just passed on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to him, and shout out to the New Mogul podcast they did.
Yeah, about him.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That was a good
They put
continuation.
that together well because I thought they would need like 5 episodes to get Combat Jack. I didn't think they'd be able to do it in one episode. I was like, nah. And they did. They cut it together really nice. So shout out to the people over there for the episode. I was listening to it on the bus the other day, and I was impressed.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't think they'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But it was very well put together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they did it in one episode because it was definitely amazing. It was a good way to honor the man. 100%.
Yeah, good way, man.
Yeah, 100%.
I was at his funeral service, which is nice too, hearing all his old friends talk about it and everything. Because I knew him. I knew him as a blogger. Like I came up like when he was like kind of reinventing himself. I didn't know nothing about his legal career. I just knew him as Dallas Penn's homie. You know what I mean? Dallas Penn's blogger homie. I didn't know he had that whole illustrious career in the legal world. So I started listening to the podcast more.
Yeah, I had I found out about Combat when they used to do the Complex videos, right? So they used to have the little series on Complex, and it was him, Dallas Penn, and then Just Blaze was like the DJ, and then it went from there to SoundCloud, and then SoundCloud to basically the platform that we all know. And I was, I was doing a professional thing as well, and I felt the same way as him, like, yo, this professional shit is killing me. And I just didn't know too many people that went back. I call it going back to your roots, right? Because we all started listening to music growing up, and hip hop, everybody walls was covered with Source magazine pictures, and to me that was amazing to see him go from corporate into the music. You know what I'm saying? So I started following him there, and then got a chance to know him. You know what I'm saying? And then up until his passing. So I was very blessed to just be able to shake hands with the man and then follow in his footsteps with the podcast game,
Yeah, no. See, you're doing a great interview too, man. You seem to know your stuff. You're very patient. I know I step on people. I cut people off sometimes, so I know it takes a little patience to interview me.
Yeah, no, it definitely is a skill to interview, man, and it's also a skill to talk. You know what I'm saying? And I think you brought the information with it. But I like information. I like hearing information. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm from the era where you said a rapper say something, I'm on the book looking it up. Like, hold on, what's that? So and I think you bring a lot of that to the game. And congratulations, man, on your longevity. Congratulations on the app. Congratulations on the book. Congratulations on Mankind. Congratulations on just life in general, man. Because
thank you. You're in a good place, man.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully
That's
it gets
great
better,
to hear.
but
Yeah, so let everybody know where they can what's your social media and where they can find Mankind stuff.
My Twitter is Casey Gaines, CASCYGANE. That's also my Instagram. Mankind Music Academy on Twitter is Mankind. Mankind, I think that's also Facebook, but when you type it out, it's Mankind. And on Instagram, I believe, again, it is Mankind Music Academy. All the videos are on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. MVGen is the website, mvgen.com. You can also check out our Daily Motion channel. We got all sorts of cool Mighty Casey, Griselda, Mankind, everything. Reggae, we got a wide variety of curated videos, and you can also make your own videos at MVGen, but you can check out all the coolest ones at dailymotion.com/MVGenerator. And MV Generator on Twitter, MVGen on Facebook, and Mighty Casey on Facebook. Casey Gain, if you want to be personal with me, if you feel you cool, I might accept your version. But you just want to know what's going on with Mighty Casey, you just like the Mighty Casey page on Facebook, as well as the Mankind page, and then, Twitter. Casey Gain, Mankind Music Academy. And if I got anything wrong, I'm sure you can find it. Google.
All right, man. Well, listen, man, thank you for your contributions to the music game. I definitely think you definitely done some legendary stuff. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for talking about it, you know what I'm saying, openly and candidly. And, until next time, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Great interview, man. I really enjoyed talking with you.
All right, me too. All right, everybody out there, there's another episode of the Awesome Nobody podcast. We had an awesome guest. Hope you guys enjoy. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, awesome out of here.